Tonight the Streets Are Ours.
Actually, it was one of them songs that kind of wrote itself.
Yeah.
Because it was a little riff, again, off a dictaphone tape that I didn't really think much of. And I think it was one of those where, in Yellow House Studios where we always record, there's a table, and it used to be facing a wall, a white wall, in the corner on the other side. Yeah. And all I used to have was basically a blank white wall, this old table that was your granddad's.
That's right, yeah.
And a piece of paper, which was blank as the wall, and probably blank as most inside of my head. And it was one of those that was so quick to write. It was the middle eight, everything. I remember being really pleased with that.
Well, it was during that time when it was all that ASBO thing that was happening. Remember the Tories where it was slapping ASBOs on
everything.
Yeah.
That's right, actually, because the main inspiration for that was, in part, was the solution for Britain's social problems and antisocial behaviour was to just basically put ASBOs on people and imprison them in their homes, which made me see red, actually. I was really angry about that because they never seem to have the ability or the brains to figure out why do people behave like that. So they never actually attack the root cause and make people have lives that are worth living. You know, give someone a decent life instead of constantly punishing people that are always more than likely are at the bottom of the social ladder and don't have opportunities. They haven't got anywhere to go and there's no escape from them. So people just go nuts into drugs and alcohol, and you know, there's a reason why people behave like that. It's not just it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's cause and effect, you know.
Yeah.
And that it just pissed me off. It was just the most weak-arsed solution.
Well, I think that song has meant a lot to people who listen to that.
Yeah, and it you know, in an idyllic world, you know, old people, women, kids, whatever, should be able to walk down any street and not be frightened of getting shooed in air, you know, and beaten up, or, you know, whatever other horrors are out there on the streets. And but we don't live in that world, and I just wish they'd have the balls to try at least and attack the root causes of why people go off the rails, you know. Simple as that, really. Doesn't seem that difficult to me.
No. And I gather they played it at Hillsborough, the Wednesday ground, when they got promoted.
That was good, yeah. I mean, obviously things are not great down at Wednesday at the moment, but his...
that was a good moment then.
Yeah, it was good, actually, because my two sons were kind of umming and ahhing about whether they were going to be Blades or Wednesday fans. And I took them down to that particular game, and the crowd invaded the pitch, and they played Tonight the Streets Are Ours over the tannoy. And I remember lots of people, we were all stood up cheering and everything because they'd gone up. And a lot of the people in the crowd just pointed to me and started singing along. And both my sons looked up at me and just went, I think we're going to be Wednesday fans, Dad.
Well, there's a good moment.
So it was worth writing for that alone, you know.